Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hi, my name's Christine Crowell, and today's video is about electric vehicle batteries. Is this the new gold rush? That's really going to change everything because apparently there's going to be 10 new factories being opened up to build these electric vehicles. And apparently it is in the pipeline and it is being worked on as we speak. So my name's Christine Crowell, and just imagine, did you know that that it plays such a critical role in the future of electronic vehicles? So with the electronic vehicles, they're skyrocketing, aren't they? All around the world. So the silver demand is high and it's exploding, for example. And today, what I want to do is I want to dive into how this metal is shaping the automotive industry future. Because to me, you're looking at all of these electronic vehicles around the world. They need silver to help it to go, but they're also looking at ways to see what else they can use. But isn't that going to make it perhaps inferior or perhaps not work so well? So these things need to be tried and tested before they come out on the market. And we can see what has been happening with a certain company, for example, where there's been some callbacks. Okay, so welcome to the channel. I'm Christine Crowell, and I am also here to really help you to navigate the new industries that we're really having to work with now. AI. I do AI automations. I help companies to automate AI into their business, but also it's made me think about AI and the chips. Where does it come from? What material? So I've got an inquisitive brain. So I started to look into it and I was like, oh, hang on a minute. I used to do gold. I used to do silver. This is something that we all need to be aware of now due to the economic uncertainty that we're facing, that we need to really look at gold and silver and how we can use it for our own use that is going to be more valuable to us and our future. So this is the reason why I'm talking about gold and silver investments so much, because of the value of the cash, it is deteriorating. And people are really going back to basics. People are having all their gold and silver delivered to them, so they've got it in their hands. Because some people have got gold and silver on paper, but they don't actually own it until it's actually in their hands. Because if a company, for example, a bank, for example, was decide to take that gold and silver, then that means that you could have lost your gold or silver. And I'm just saying this because this is what I've been hearing about as well through experts. So that's why I always say if you can have the gold and silver in your hands or in your possession where you can easily access it, that is the best option. Because as you can see in America, all around the world, all the large organizations, the family offices, the millionaires, the billionaires, the governments, the central banks, the reserves, for example, they're all asking for their gold back and silver back. And they're starting to buy a lot more silver. as an investment. So if you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more insights. And I'm super excited to say that I am going to be doing a weekly report on gold and silver, as well as daily, as I come here live daily. And I will be doing, a kind of like a roundup report of the findings for the week, for example. So you'll be able to download that and get that information as well. For those of you that may have possibly have missed some of the videos, for example. So what we're going to cover today is we're going to be talking about the current boom in EV battery production. Like I mentioned yesterday, that electronic vehicles are being used by silver a lot. So it is crucial for the electronic vehicles to work. And there are challenges in the EV and the battery supply chain. The future of silver investments and price predictions, and how you can position yourself to profit from this trend. Silver and gold I'm referring to. So let's go into this a bit more. So the EV revolution, the electronic vehicle revolution, is growing massively. The battery, there's a big demand for this. And the EU market growth has really grown. Over 400 million EVs were sold in 2023. That is a lot. So it's tripled the sales of 2020. So there is a projection that by 2030, nearly half, nearly 30% of all vehicles will be electric. Just bear with me. Apologies for that. So, that's me having a little coughing fit there. So, this is live, as you know. Can't stop it. So, like I said, it's increased by 30% by 2030, it's saying that all vehicles will be electric. Now, I remember before electric cars came out, there was talk about it. We were like, okay, let's wait and see. I don't know how this is going to work, but it clearly has worked because it's here. And countries worldwide are banning the gas vehicles, for example, that run by gas. They want this by 2035. So we got, 10 years? So they're trying to fuel the EV demand. I do not have an understanding of I haven't looked into this yet, and I will be looking into it, what the effects on the environment is going to be. I'm not sure. But this has grown more than the gas that we used to put, the petrol that we put into our cars, for example, so that it would run. So there's going to be a lot of factory expansions, battery factory expansions. So over a dozen new battery factories are coming, and it's outlined for the US alone. Apparently, USA is going to be the only factories that are expanding in EV, for example, factories. So companies like Panasonic, for example, LG, for example, are making billion-dollar investments. There's lots of other companies as well, as we all know. But countries like Portugal, China, and Germany are also investing heavily in battery tech. And also, as you know, Tesla is doing EV batteries, electric cars, for example, amongst other things. So, why is this essential? Why is silver so essential for EV? I spoke about this a couple of days ago. I said that people have been made billionaires out of silver. And without this silver, they would not be billionaires. They would, lose their power, wouldn't they? It'll be like without silver is like kryptonite for them, for example. That it would make them weak and it would not make them strong, for example. But why is silver essential for electronic vehicles? So silver's role in electronic vehicles is that it's highly conductive material. It's essential in EV batteries, charging stations, and solar panels. Remember I mentioned about solar panels, tech industry, for example, factories, manufacturing, Apple, industries, not just for us to wear silver, it is for industrial manufacturing purposes as well. So these batteries, by using the batteries, the circuit boards, and high performance electronic components. So every EV, for example, requires 25, listen to this, 25 to 30 grams of silver. Significantly, that is more than the gas-powered cars. Silver versus lithium, cobalt, and nickel. So whilst lithium, cobalt, and nickel power batteries as well, because we've heard about this, haven't we? Silver is the backbone of the entire electronic vehicle, electrical system, for example. So, unlike metal, for example, silver is scarce and mined in limited locations. And boy, have I got some really great videos coming up shortly for you to see. Now, what are the challenges in the EV and the silver supply chain? So, raw material, limited locations. Silver production is not keeping up with demand. Do you remember I showed you yesterday about the demand is higher than the supply currently at the moment? And I'm just trying to just see if I put it in here. Yes, I did. So the silver demand. So remember I showed you, and the video earlier on today has got these graphs in properly and nicely, but I like to print things off because I'm old school. Okay, so this is the demand. Okay, so the demand for silver is higher than the actual amount available, for example.